So, tongue tie video number 2. Hello, baby. After I recorded that video, as he started to cry, we got home, and he basically didn't stop crying from then. So it was about 3ish. Didn't stop crying until about 6:30. Just he fell asleep a couple of times during that, but just screaming his head off, screaming his head off, screaming his head off. If the nipple touched his lips, he would scream his head off. He just wouldn't take it. And this is so unlike him. Like, it just didn't look comfortable latching on. It wasn't. He didn't even want to try. It was almost like he remembered there was something in his mouth and it hurt, so he didn't want anything in his mouth. So I just kept soothing him, kept talking to him, and so he kept quieting down and just opening his eyes, screaming again, as if he just remembered that something happened. So that was very distressing, and I must admit I shed some tears too towards the end, because like, how long is this gonna go for? Like, how long is it okay for it to go for? Because I wasn't sure, and I tried to Google it and it wasn't helping. I tried calling the helplines for breastfeeding. Like, I have 3 different numbers. None of them were taking calls, although they're supposed to take them until 10, because it's all manned by volunteers unless someone's on and available. There is no one on, so I called 111. Just because I just want to speak to someone, for someone just to explain, is this okay, is this normal, how long is it okay for, like until when I have to wait before I should be worried. And they booked appointment with the doctor in a hospital for me for 9:45 tonight. That was about 7:30, well, about 7. And that worried me. That actually made it worse, because they didn't really explain anything. They just said, oh, it's better if doctor sees you. So about 10-15 minutes after the call, Ollie woke up, latched on, drank for 10 minutes, fell asleep, and has been sleeping since. He must be really tired from all the screaming, bless his cotton socks. So yeah, he fed normally, so hopefully, this is it and we're back to normal. I didn't call the hospital to ask if I should still attend the appointment or cancel it, whatever, so they had a doctor to call me, and he was very reassuring. He finally explained that this often happens and it's normal. It can happen after jabs too. It's just usually during the treatment and stuff, it's a bit of a shock and stuff, so the babies don't really notice the discomfort of what's going on. They just keep going, and then suddenly they remember, oh shit, this happened. And that's not the doctor's words, that are mine. And they kind of process the trauma, and it can be a bit sore, uncomfortable. So yeah, he said, even if he doesn't feed throughout the night, I don't need to worry, it's gonna be okay. But if I have any concerns, if I feel that maybe there's inflammation, it's got a temperature, or that's kind of stuff, then call back. So yeah, interesting. Didn't expect that. They didn't really prepare us for that. Like, they talked about kind of adverse reactions like infection and high temperatures. They didn't say that babies might just cry for a few hours and not want to feed, so that came as a surprise, and I didn't know it was normal, and I couldn't find any information that would be helpful, that would tell me, yes, it's okay, it's normal. So if you're watching this because you googled baby crying non-stop and not wanting to feed after tongue tie being cut, This is for you to be reassured that it can take up to 24 hours, up to 48 hours actually they said. But if he doesn't feed, or she doesn't feed for 24 hours, they'd be fine. It's just if they start getting dehydrated, you can tell if the tongue gets a bit dry and lips, and if the fingertips can get a bit white. And the kind of, if you squeeze them, the blood doesn't come in quickly. That means they're dehydrated. Then obviously you need to take them to doctor. But as long as it's not infected and everything's fine, it's okay for them to cry periodically, cry like screaming their head off, like proper heartbreaking cry with massive crocodile tears. And if they don't feed initially, or they might come on and off to feed, that's okay too. Like, not to worry. Usually after 24, 48 hours, they get back to normal. So yeah, I worried unnecessarily, so please don't worry. It's gonna be fine, and your baby's gonna be fine. But whenever you have any concern, just do call the helplines, do call the 111. It's better to be sure than sorry. And you don't have to take my word for it. But I think if I found this kind of thing online, it would be reassuring. So I hope that this video will do that for you, or for whoever might need it. All right, take care.